Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm David Jansen. What I'd like to do is, rather than show you a full lesson, one of those is coming back up in the future, I'd like to show you a clip from one of our online classes. We have an online class site called Jansen Art Online. All the links are right below here, and you can come sign up for some of our online classes. We'd appreciate it. So let's take a clip of this painting here. We're about halfway through the painting right now. Let's watch just a little bit of the lesson here, and then I'll come back and talk at you at the end. There, let's go over to this one here, and you can paint any, like I can start by, restating some of my real darks in here. So you can, you can paint any color that you want. You just paint because you're painting so thin. I want to come in and streak a little bit more of my burnt siennas there. Let's get a little bit of blue in here to soften that just a touch, gray it just a touch, but we got to go a little bit more burnt sienna, just a touch of our blues here. Gray that. Let's get back up into this areas and stuff here. Let's streak in a little bit more, which is what you see in the rocks underneath there. And maybe some of my yellows in here. Right like that. Let's set that back off a little bit there. And we'll bring this over so it's centered up in the camera just a bit more. Just want to be able to see the edge of that here. And let's hold this kind of flat here, and I'll set this right up over here so I can see that better. Okay, hold that flat, get that granulation in there. That's what we want to have, that granulation. And look to your tones. Just put a little bit of those tones on there. Look to the tones. Let's get it a little darker, maybe a touch more of our blues up there right along the edge where those two are kind of coming together there. Right into that edge there, like that. Pull up and down just a bit, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes I'll smear with it, but when the paint's dry like that, see how it's dry? That's what you want, that granulation there. That's the different look. That's the look that is so much different. And that's what I, when I study a lot of painters, and I study masters, and I study them all the time, that's what I'm looking for, is that granulation. And sometimes thin color sitting on top. Granulation here in the falls is very important. Now, we haven't had too much granulation in some of our painting. We're just painting thin. But now you see on top of that thin layer, a little bit of granulation really, really helps. That nice dry type of paint that goes out there onto those edges. It's almost like the Italian sfumato technique. Where they take those edges and they just soft blur those edges. That was Da Vinci's way. That's what Da Vinci did so much with. And they're great. These techniques, these techniques are really what make you as an artist. And so many people just get in there and they start to paint, and they don't realize that these optical techniques are so important. They're so very, very important. Here, let's just take a little bit in that drag. So I got some of this granulation. That's our optically blend. Now, we have a lot more to do. We're not done with that particular water in there, but you can see the optical blending where that's beginning to come, how the water is going to be coming in there and setting up. We can go just a bit lighter. Remember, don't go to 10. Don't use pure white. Gray it down. Have your pure white to compare this to. You can see I'm grayer. I'm down quite a bit, even though it looks light like right here. Hold it up next to that white. It's not there. Okay, and watch as you apply this. If you're not getting that granulation, this drag granulation there, you're building up too much paint onto the surface, and it's time for you to let it dry a bit. Okay. And that we can do. I'm just going to drag that down just a bit more like that. Here. Okay. So, and then, like you get that edge up there, then we'll revisit some of our dark water tones here. The burnt sienna and the phthalo and stuff. Hold your brush very flat and work that edge. Just pull down just a little bit into that edge, following the technique of that water. and that will pull your water down. Now again, short, light strokes here. Try not to disrupt the. To pull long. Do not hold the brush down like this. You get a line. You want to hold that brush very, very flat. You know, a little different than what we did in our other lessons. And we're being very, very controlled here with this. We're going to mix up some of our blue and our burnt sienna, which is the underlying rock color. I'll put some of that down there. I'll come back up, mix up, go back to our intermediate color, watercolor we used over there on the other side. I'll put some of that in, and then some of my light, and again drag that down. You can see I can create a little bit of that light movement there on that edge of the water. Fix this edge here. Let's come in, pull that down, just that edge, just give it a little bit of the movement there. And I want to come in there and work more and do more. My feeling is I want to do more and more, but I can't. My color is getting heavy onto the surface, starting to pick up onto the surface, and so I don't want to lose this draggy granulation that we get here that really is going to create the look of the falls here. So I can't. So I'm going to put some medium tone into this and just take just a bit of that out, just light like that. Just run through it there. This will be the falls. And imagine when we come in here and we start to use the white, how that's really going to change the falls. Now you got to imagine this fall here is going to hit right in through here. Okay, we're going to have that bubbly white. I'll just put a little mark right in here so you can see it for now. We're going to have this bubbly white that's going to hit right along right down there. That's where the fall is actually hitting. And then we've got to move that. Now you can move it at a different angle, like it's hitting a lower set of rocks here. We've got to move that down there like that. But you've got to kind of start to visualize the water and how it's going to be moving here. So, but it's really easy to do this when you granulate these colors. This dry granulation of the colors here. Sometimes I like to do this, instead of doing this global, I like to do this with the pure acrylic, and it's actually easier because it dries nice and fast for you, and you can keep going and going and going. You know, it works really well. What you'll do is see when I'll drag this over the edge of this, and that will create the look here of water, and I will lighten that up slightly and put in like the little shines of the movements of water like that. That is what gives you the really look of transparent water. You don't touch this. You know, every once in a while you'll notice you may come in and say, okay, I'll come over this little brown rock or something like that. Whoops, let's get a little bit more where it'll show here. Use a little edge or something like that and hit a little highlight. See, that little highlight optically really advances or jumps off, and that's what gives you the little bit of the feeling of water all the way across this. It's only going to take a couple of them that come across here like this with little lights to say, you know, there's your water, see? And, you know, so it doesn't take that much. I don't want to do that yet. Maybe I'll leave that right there so you can see optically where we're going. But you can really create that water. I can take some of this mid-tone that's right here and just drag a bit of that across here like this. It's nice to drag and push in the direction that I want this to go, to flow here. And you can see I create that look of water right there, coming right off of that, right off of these light areas here. There like that. But I want to do this more dry so I get some of this granulation here. You know, that granulation is so important here. But that'll give you an idea about where we're going to go with some of this here. Where we're going, what we're doing with this. Let's just push this out a bit. Soften that. And see, I'm getting a little bit of blending, and I don't want that because that color, that area there is really wet. But that is, you can see where the water is going to be coming. Here, let's put a little bit of that right out through here like this. Here, let's just pick up, get just a bit of that. Here, dragging that through here, pushing. You can see where water's going to happen here, and it's going to happen. So that's just a quick example of what some of the online classes look like. And for more information, make sure you click those links down below. This painting that we're working here is about halfway through. We have a long ways to go on it. It's a lot of fun. We film absolutely every single brushstroke all the way through. We have discussion periods. We have live classes. And I show you all different kinds of techniques. Like I say, this is just one of the techniques that we're using, which is a thin layer painting type of techniques, a Hudson River type of technique, and we have so many more with the ultimate lessons of developing techniques that you can find your own way to paint. We're really interested in showing you and practicing with you some of these varieties and then teaching you your way, find your artistic journey. That's what we're all about here on our YouTube channel and at the Jansen Art Studio. So we hope that you click some of those links. Take a look at some of the online classes that we're offering. Those of you that like to paint flowers, we have a new online class coming in the fall of 2017. We're going to take a limited number of people. So if you're interested, make sure you click those links, get signed up onto our newsletters, and watch for when we announce that class. We'll be announcing it in the next couple of weeks. And that one is going to be an amazing class on painting all varieties of flowers. We'll do it online. We'll have some live classes where you can ask us questions, ask me questions live, and that's your opportunity to say, hey Dave, can you paint this? And I'll paint it for you live right there with you. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy our live classes. I'll see you again here at the Jansen Art Studio on our YouTube channel, and we'll bring you some more techniques and stuff. Till next time, take care. Take a look at those links, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you later.